Alrighty guys, beautiful day in Port Hughes. So guess what we're doing? Give a try. Catch a fish. Weather's been a bit average the last few days. So I'm guessing today is going to be busy on the water because the car park's pretty full, even though the new limits are in Adelaide. It's a good sign, people are still going out for fish. Might help that the garfish have sort of rocked up here, so you can go out and get your limit of whiting, then go and catch some garfish, a few tomies, and obviously there's still a few squid around, so you can, there's other options besides just whiting. My goal today is actually to try and chase a shark or three. Been a few gummy sharks getting caught. Been hanging to get out to try and get one. So yeah. It's a northerly breeze today. I'm not a fan of fishing northerlies, but when it's a good day to get out in the water, and Ellie's at kindy, so I've done the old school hours thing again. You got to take what you can get. So there, we'll punch my way out and see how we go. Thought I might have been a bit flooded than this morning, but beggars can't be choosers. Leaving the ramp. One guy's heading that way. There's the jetty. A few guys out on the jetty, which is always a good sign. Alright, I'll turn this off until we sort of get out there. Alright, see you then. Alright. Just drifted off a little bit, but oop, hang on. I'll go to here. That's what we're going for. See if they want to play. Oh, there, just sitting under the boat. Good old Ming Coda doing its job. Alright, let's get set up. One there. One there. Start off with a 2 ounce. This is a hacked up rig from the last time fishing. Still only got one hook on it, but we'll start off with that. Alrighty, what else should we stick out? Whoop. Just got an inquiry. Let's just hope they're whiting and not snapper. So I'm having a crack for whiting just to start off with while the morning's young, and tide has just sort of changed about an hour and a half ago. So put that one out that side. As you can see with my bait selection, and then we're going to go and chase some sharks. Alright, so this one's been getting hit, tap tap and tap 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 tap. So I'm guessing I'll have a clean hook. Sound is still looking good. Camera's back to zero. Oh, there we go. First fish of the day. What have we got? I'm not sure. Is that long and silver? It is. That's not a bad start for the day. There we go. First whiting of the day. Route a bit deeper, so generally I don't even have to bother measuring him, like he's 38. I don't know why I got my counter out, because I'm only allowed to catch 5 now. Pretty sure I shouldn't lose count getting to 5. But worst case, if I run out of fingers, I can use my toes. Tap, 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 tap. They're not real hard taps, so they're just stuffing with it. Bounce it off the ground. See if that gets them to come back. If not, I'll just check this rod, because that one's getting hit as soon as it hits the bottom. And this one had a fish on it. It was just sitting on it. What do we got? Oh, snap, snap. Those things that don't exist, and whatever that little thing is. Which I seem to get a few of here. He swallowed the hook. And how can you... That's the YouTube winner of the year pretty fish. Alright, so he's snapper swallowed the hook, so we'll have to in the bin, create a loop down the bottom. Sink it back on. Little bit of squid. And a couple. We're back in the game. Alright, stick that one there. Check this one, because this one's been getting hammered. Turn the CB radio off, because that's going to annoy the crap out of me. Yep, clean hook. False alarm, just to sink it. Whoop, that's a bit eager. They're just playing with it. So ready to tap, tap, tap. While they're playing with it, check the other one. I find quite often on this spot, there's probably a lot of whiting spots. If they're not biting real hard, they're there. It's just the tide's not quite right for them. So I find they just play with the bait. You can still, if you wait it out, you'll get a few that'll take the hook, but they're always there. It's just getting them when they're hungry, which is generally the right tidal movement. I've left this spot when there's been nothing happen, come back an hour later, and then you can't get a bait in the water quick enough. So it's just got to get the tidal movement. And also, like if there's a snapper around, sometimes I find the snapper are fighting for the bait. Still stuff on the sounder, so there's still fish down there. As you can see by the rod setup, we've got a 3, 4, 1 and 6 kilo, so that's what we're using for chasing sharks. Or the 1 kilo, probably not. I'll chase some South Australian billfish with that. If it calms off a bit. There's been a few gar around, like good sized gar, so flick it out a bit further. I thought we were going to be on for a quick bag out with that one straight off the bat. He must have just been the only hungry one. Alright, I'll switch this off until action stations happen. Alright. Always the way, turn the camera off, check a rod, bang, fish on. But I'm calling this for another snapper because of just how it's playing, and then bingo bango. Beautiful little baby piranha. Alright, I'll leave the camera running, so we go. This feels better. Doesn't quite have the head shakes of a snapper, or well, maybe it does. Something different. Ah, moonlighter. I'll hold him up because he's a beautiful fish. Get the sun on that. Getting all the reef species today. Sort of proves the whiting are down there because they're on the sounder, and I got that one to start off with, which I must have hit him on the head. But the tide just isn't quite right for him, maybe. But that's okay. I'll give it another 10 or so minutes, and then we'll go to another spot, try for some sharks and some other stuff. Might get whiting there as well. I think they're all through this area, it's just a matter of... I'm going to give this reel a bit of a clean. Alright, I know how to bring the fish on. Like a drink that I forgot to drink on the way out. Here you go, fishies. Didn't get a fish to bite, but I got a bird to land. Alright, we'll give this 10 or so minutes. If nothing exciting happens, we'll make a shift. Far out that quick. Alright, I'll turn the camera off. I'll get it going when we something exciting happens. Alright, spot 2. Looks very interesting. Alright, let's get some baits in the water. Actually, before we get too carried away. Put something down for something with teeth. So just a full squid. Stick that there. If there's snapper around, it'll probably get smashed by the snapper, but see how we go. Mate was on this spot and got a couple of gummy sharks not long ago, so thought we'll come out and have a look. See how we go. Tide's really starting to rip out now. Might need bigger sinkers. That is looking real good. Just interesting to see what sort of fish they are. My lunch. See if we can wake the little genties up. In Australia, I'm sure everyone knows what these are used for, but guys interstate. Handy trick on the boat when it's a bit windy, just put a sinker in, saves your gents getting blown away. So this is what I use for South Australian billfish, 2 or 1 kilo rod. You'll float down to your swivel, and then I just buy the packet size 12 long shank hooks, and then just load it up with gents. They have a bit of a flat end and a sharp end. Sharp end makes them wiggle, so just I always put the arse end on. And flick that out the back. Oop, this one's getting an inquiry. I keep my burley in these tubs because it's got powder. The other one's got pellets in it down there, just because it's easier, saves you carrying the plastics burley around bags. A bit in there just for a bit of tuna oil. See if there's any gars around. Just check the bait on this rod because I've got an inquiry. The sounder still looks lit up, so maybe I need a. I've got a feeling I'm going to need a heavier sinker. 2 ounce. Go to got a 3. Oop. Try again. That rod gets an inquiry, and then this one does. Oh, I'm calling this for a good size whiting. It's not a bad one. $37. Put him in there with his friend. He didn't bite like a whiting, so that was pretty cool. The full squid that's on the other rod was getting an inquiry. So I don't know whether that's just little fish attacking it or not sure. So I'll get this one back in. Oh, straight on. Down there. Sounder is still lit. Oh, straight on. Good. What do we got this time? Another whiting. Oop. Sorry guys, that something went wrong. Changed memory cards. What do we got here? Oh, another good whiting. And some reef. I'll get him in the boat. $35. Alright. Oh, there we go. Straight on. Another good whiting. Oh, definitely a good whiting. Get him in. Whoa. Give him a headache. Alright, might do some tagging, show you something a bit different before I get my limit. Put him in there to keep him happy. Alright, so this is a tagging gun from Saf Tag X10483. 10483. Just make sure that's the next one in the 10483. Oop. Can't say he's not lively. So 37. There we go. Whoop. He's good. See if we can tag a few. I do tagging for Saf Tag, so we do tuna, salmon, trevally. Oh no, not trevally. Whiting. Been trying to do a few whiting just because of the algae bloom stuff going on in the Gulfs in Adelaide. It'd be cool. There's theories of where the whiting, where the fishing's been good, if they're coming from where the fishing's been bad. So I've been trying to tag as many whiting as I can, because then when the other waters become good again, it'd be cool to see if the whiting that I've tagged around Port Hughes go back to other areas, like the other side of the Gulf. That's one theory, like a bit of algae on the other side of Spencer's Gulf, so they've shifted over here. That's the reason why the fishing's been so good. So I've been trying to tag a few. We've had a few recaptures of my other spot, but the whiting haven't moved. They've just stayed in the same area of the ones that have been caught. So we've got 4 in there. It's always the way. Leave the rod unattended, didn't get to bite. Bit hard when the current or the tide's really ripping out, because if you let too much line out, it just puts a bowl in the line and your sinker's not on the bottom, so it makes it hard to tell. Yeah, getting too excited and I keep missing the bites. Surely I'll check the bait. I'd say there'd be a few leatheries down there, because that squid had teeth marks in it. Leave it with a 3. I was going to upgrade my sinker, but alright, we'll check this one. Turn that off. Piranhas have been at the squid. We'll put a bigger sinker on this one. Go to a 4 ounce. So I might change tack. Some little game hooks. Not sure like how big the sharks are around, so I know everyone will be going, should be using a steel trace, but really chasing gummy sharks here, so shouldn't be any teeth to worry about, theoretically. And I've just seen in my other videos, like I catch big whiting and decent sized snapper on small hooks. So if I hook something and it swallows everything, I'll upgrade. But for now, put that little bit of squid back on, get rid of the backbone. And then I'll just put the tail end of the pilly on. And just hope there's no snapper down there, because that would be a snapper lolly as well. I'll just run that down. Sure, I would have been baited on this one. Alright, spot 3. Bit of powder, bit of oil. Yeah. Yeah. Another rod. Alright, so I'll show you how I set up my gar. The old keep it simple stupid. I used to do huge rigs with 2 hooks and 3 hooks. Now on the boat, even on the jetty, so just float, pinch your line for a loop, whoop, through there, go over the long way, slide that up a bit. Helps if you're not blind. I didn't bring my glasses. Maybe the hole's a bit small. Nah, stuff it. We'll just go with one. And then I have a little, and this is all I use for gar. Chemically sharpened hooks. Hopefully you can see it, get the right angle to see them. Nothing special. And that just goes straight on the swivel. Most of the time this will be fine. Occasionally you might need a split shot for a bit of extra weight. Get the gents. Remember the sinker's in there so it doesn't blow away. Oop. Oop. One ran away. Spoggies at home will get him. Straight out there. Get another float out just in case I do untangle that other rod. Got twisted up with the current out at the last spot. Not that I expect to catch anything that'll take that big bait here, but you never know. Might be a sneak or something cruising around. It's barely a bit of a mush. Just gotta wait for the... Alright guys, the camera wasn't filming, but I have got a South Australian billfish on the boat. Now I've got the scorby on the... dropped him. Tangled my float. Which way? That way. I know these probably don't get as exciting as big as the billfish in New South Wales and Queensland, but us SA guys have just got to take what we can get. There we go. Oop, missed him. They're being very finicky. Obviously the guys that were fishing next to me, they just left, been fishing, or they said they got their bag limit, so they got 30. Fine, after a while they get enough burley in their guts, they sort of fill up and then they get really finicky. But unfortunately it's the only... I try to use a bit more of the tuna oil than the burley, but beggars can't be choosers. They're just obviously swimming around because they come to the back of the boat, smash the bait and the burley, and then they swim off. There's a couple other boats over there. I was trying to bait this rod up. Before I was rudely interrupted by a fish. I'll load the hook up with maggots. Flick it out there. It's always the way. Garfish must be camera shy. I'll turn the camera off, they come, put the camera back on, and they disappear. Oh, there we go. They come back. Oh, I reckon the other rod's on too. Yep, the other one's on too. That's the reason why I only use one hook, because they make a lot of racket. If you use more than one hook, you get lots of tangles. And I squeeze them like that, gets rid of most of the scales and crap. I pulled the hook. Same problem with gar fishing. They've only got real small hook mouths, so it can be frustrating, but it is good fun because it's sight fishing. Don't be scared to move the bait around because they like a... There we go, another one. In the boat. Same thing, give him a squeeze. The upside of doing 2 rods. Bait one, while you get the fish off the other one. But if it does get too hectic, 1 rod's enough. Even the seagulls coming to check out what the hell's going on. Yes, I mentioned these are maggots. For people overseas or watching this, you put them in bran, they eat the bran, it whitens them up, sort of cleans them. Great bait for tomies and garfish. They wiggle, so I think it's just the wiggling action that the fish like. And if you're new to gar fishing, they sometimes will take the float under if they bite really hard, but sometimes they'll just nibble it and your float will just go cockeyed to the current. So obviously it's sitting flat with the current, tide going out and the wind. So quite often, yeah, garfish will just twist your float. So just give it a quick flick of the wrist. Quite often they just sit there and they suck on the bait. Oh, there we go. Oh, missed him. They're not the brightest fish in the world, they seem to just come back. Oh, that bait out there is doing something. Oh, no, this one is. Obviously also I think the stuff that comes out of their stomach and the scales sort of puts a bit of crap in the birdie, and they seem to be attracted to that as well. I don't know if you can see that, but the school's chasing the bait in that's on the under the float like a pack. Oop, there we go. The fish are stuffing around with that one. I'll let this one rebaited. Alright, I think I'll just go with 1 rod. There we go. Let's see if we can get this one in the boat. Dropped a few. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, off it goes. Come here. burley, a bit of a... It's got a few little bits in there. Alright, so the camera's playing up a bit today. Not sure what's going on. Every time I look down to see if it's filming, it's not filming. There, we have a jumper. I reckon that's a tommy. Yep, good size tommy. Really? It's called me thumblehounds today. Why don't you want something stuck on the hook? There we go. Maybe that's the reason why I couldn't hook them. There's a bit of scale or something stuck on the barb of the hook. Not more for good luck. Yep. Way, first day. Now there's like hundreds of fish behind the boat. There we go. This is going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. But there's not too many people on the east coast can say they're catching billfish on 1 kilo line. They're classed as a billfish, right? They got a bill. Still got a bit of bait, yep. Alright, back out of that. Straight on. Come on. Yep, there we go. Whoop, get in the boat. When they start feeding real hard, you don't really have to be too fussy about how many gents are on. Especially when there's like hundreds of them there. Like they just, anything sort of looks like food, they just smash it. Now I've jinxed it. Look at that. Oh, no, missed him. There we go. Ah, I reckon they tangled me. Rude. Now, got a tangle on the end of my tip of my rod. It's the only drama with this fishing because it's very lightweight and you're flicking your wrist and flicking your rod and easy to get tangles. There we go. Nah. you can see, they've only got small mouths. Watch some crap off their hand, I reckon, for the look. Top up the gents, drop one on the floor. The masses come. There we go. Oh, that's a better one. You know they're good when they pull and drag. Pull and string. There we go. Come on, fishy. They must have just done a quick lap of the reef. They'll be back. They're back. There we go. Where'd he go? Come here. Come here. Hold still. Alright, I'll stop this for a sec and see if there's any fish action. after I saw a couple of drummer on that bit of underwater, might have a quick crack for them. See how we go. Alright, another one. So, tail fillet. And watch the rest up for burley. Two little fillets on a hook. That was the Eskish closing. Not going to spend too long doing this. Got other stuff we want to go and chase, but we'll see if the drummer want to play. Guys, seen my other episodes now. I spent a few hours doing this the other week. Good fun. But I'd like to catch a shark today. It's the goal. But the tide was ripping too hard, so I come in here for a bit of a play. Get a feed of gar. Getting the drummer. Take the bait. Oh, there he is. Hey, he's had gnome. Oh, he's really not happy. I may need to I'm gonna have to try and put the rod in the rod holder, grab the Minn Kota remote. Never had to try and steer whilst chasing a fish, but let's see. No other rods in the water? No, just that one. Chased him over here. I reckon he's reefed me. I can see him swimming, but I think he's got my line around some weed. Might just try and freeze ball him, let him, so I can literally see him swimming around. Nah, I think I'm gonna lose this guy. Come on, bud. No, I don't think I'm going to win this battle. I think he has won. That was one of the bigger drummer too. Oh well, alright, we'll see if I can bust this line off. There we go. That's the end of that one for today. Alright, that was a bit of action. Alright, we'll go. Alright, let's see if this spot produces. Where we're going, right? Big bait, big fish. No one's good. It's already. Come on. Probably wasn't wise to put the 1 kilo out, but if you watch all my other videos, it's the one that always gets the last fish. Oh, that bounce around. Just need one more whiting for my 5 whiting. Never used to worry about getting a bag of whiting, but now it's only 5. You got to take a bag, right? Because 5 whiting doesn't really feed myself, the 2 kids, and the missus. Not about taking any home or taking any to my parents. Which is what I used to do. I'm sure all kids that go fishing and their parents love a feed of fish do all the same. I was going to say this is a nice whiting, but I've got a feeling it's a snapper. The way it's fighting. No, it's two snapper. Two little piranhas. The fish that don't exist. When I was fishing before I got that drummer, I had some pillies out for snook and I kept getting smashed by snapper. And good size snapper, like 50 odd centimeters. So I'll give this a couple of baits if we can't get through the snapper to get the whiting. Alright guys, I think we're going to sign off. It's been an alright day. Got a bag of garfish, 4 whiting. Probably shouldn't have thrown that 5th whiting back. But it's getting late in the day. Need to get back to pick up Ellie from kindy. So I'll call it there. Unless anything exciting happens. But alright, have a good afternoon. I'll catch you next one. Bye.